friend, colleague, and member of the full committee, Representative Bono.
Thank you very much. Madam Attorney General, I'm in full agreement with you that your number one concern was the welfare of the innocent children, and I think that's where you should have focused. Now, as far as your decision to approve of gassing the Davidians with the CS gas, apparently your selection, and after hearing a little more testimony, was based on Dr. Salem's...
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back from the break. This is your host, Rocket, from the Rocket Radio Show. Exciting show today. Exciting, very exciting show.
Very exciting.
You're at a loss for words.
Typically, yes.
Don't worry, I'll fill them in for you.
I know.
So we got other things going on. What else is going on, Sam? Hey,
Well,
I
you were
want
gonna-
to say also that Psycho Dark is doing a bang-up job at night. If you'd like to catch the show,
The Night Gallery.
The Night Gallery by Psycho Dark. It's awesome. I contribute to you sometimes, but man, he's slaying it.
Awesome.
Slaying it.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. He's also going to be doing a trance show very soon. And we're working on even more variation. One guy said that he's addicted to the, what is it, ubiquitous, random style of our show format.
I like that.
I like that too.
Ubiquitous randomness.
Ubiquitous. I'm not sure what that means.
That sounds
I think that
Latin.
might be a bad word.
Sounds Latin. Ubiquitous randomness.
So you know what the happiest years of your life are, according to this poll?
35 to 50.
Nope. 23 years old and 69 years old. Those are the two happiest years of people's life on average. I think 23 because you're a young, immortal, untouchable, unbreakable young person, and you know enough to be dangerous.
I loved my early 20s.
23, yeah.
Fun.
You know, you're not exactly 20, but you're not exactly 30. And
I
then
would
the
say
69, you know, you made it through the 60s. You've got those collateral arteries to your heart. You're probably not going to have cardiac after that. You got to worry about a stroke. 69, start getting Social Security. If you're still alive to get that.
There's something to look forward to. I don't know. 69. I want to say 40.
40 is your happiest years? That's when
40,
men usually make
40
a
and
million.
up. 40 and up.
40 and up.
I mean, first of all, in my 20s, yes, I thought I knew everything. In my 30s, you know, things were starting to slow down, starting to get into the whole family and the whole, you know, serious work environment and things
Wasted
like that.
those years.
Yeah, no kidding. And then in my 40s, all of a sudden, I mean, things started to make sense, and you start to realize what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life and how you want to spend your time, and that life is too short to be so frickin' serious all the time.
Well, you got to think about yourself sometimes.
I've become very selfish in my 40s. Very selfish.
People are just more selfish. You know, people have like 78 photos of themselves on their person, usually in their phone, and over 156 photos of their pet on their phone.
You know what's interesting about that is, and I know how you feel about photos in general, but I'm never in photos. I take photos of other people doing fun things. I'm never in the photos.
I do that too. Like the other day I saw some Asian tourists, and they were all actively taking their photo, and I automatically volunteered to take their photos for them because they're photophobes. You know, they're getting a picture of themselves behind every landmark in bad lighting. So I go over there, being the nice Caucasian guy, and then I motion, hey, I'll take your picture for you. And the guy who's taking the picture, oh, I'll get in the picture. And so what I do is I get them all to group together, right? And then I go, like, hold still, and I start to back up, and I'm, like, looking through the camera, and I back up. I get about 10 feet away. I turn and run.
No, you don't. So
I was able to get a rock of crack with that camera.
We
And that
had
lasted about 2 hours.
a major
What?
major photo op yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Climbed a mountain yesterday.
went to Mount Rainier.
Mount Rainier. It's a tiny little thing.
No, it's 14,000
I know,
something.
it's 14,000 feet. It's like an optical thing. You get up there, it's like, what the hell is this? I told you. I went to the Grand Canyon and looked. I said, that's it? Is this like the Snake Canyon? Or No, Grand Canyon. Look at it. Wow, 3 miles across. I could fucking jump across it.
Oh, come on.
Now, if you were down in the basin, it would look bigger to you. I don't think so, man. I'll ride a donkey down there and look up and go jump up there, climb it. So we're standing there, Sam and I, tourists, in beautiful weather.
Oh,
absolutely clear,
God.
crystal clear, clean air.
Beautiful blue sky.
Alpine. It looked like Switzerland.
It did.
It did. Neither of us have been to Switzerland, but we think it looks like Switzerland in pictures. And it's this kind of white Matterhorn-looking mountain, just like Disneyland, sticking straight up out of the forest, right?
Right.
Looks like it's a couple hundred feet high.
Well,
what did I tell you,
you,
Sam? I'm going to climb that.
I'm going to
motherfucker.
climb
I
that
smoke
motherfucker.
2 packs of cigarettes a day. So I got a plan. I want to climb Mount Rainier. I'm going to cut down to 1 pack. And I'm going to smoke that pack while I'm climbing that son of a bitch.
No, you're not.
And I'm going to throw cigarette butts all over the mountain on the way up there.
No, you're
That'll
not.
be the evidence that I was there. Then I'm going to hang around the summit. I'll give you an example. Let's say that I hung around the summit for 2 hours. There's going to be 5 or 6 cigarette butts laying there. Right? Hey, Rocket's been here. He's up here smoking. Man, that guy smokes and climbs mountain. Yeah, not only that, he's only got 1 eye. That guy's a fucking mountaineer guy. You heard about my previous mountain climbing experience where there was a catastrophe.
I did.
With the South Ascent team. Once I was on the zenith, once I was at the tip of the mountain, planting my flag, I was radioed by the South Ascent team. They were in trouble. So my victory was cut short, Sam, as I had to stop basking in the glory of my ability to climb mountains, leave my flag behind, lonely, cold, top of the mountain, and work my way back down to the South team, just in time. They were huddled, out of propane. There was a storm. Luckily, I had my survival pack. I had to amputate a few toes that night. One gentleman's nose, one person's left ear. But they survived. I was hailed as a hero upon returning to the small alpine village at the base of the mountain at the assault team checkpoint. But that was cut short, Sam.
Why is that?
By a palimony scandal. Apparently, the South team's leader of the expedition, his model wife,
Yes.
He didn't make it out of parks. It was a lady who was also working in front of a camera, behind a camera, in front of the camera. She's a model. A palimony suit. Nothing was ever proven. That was settled out of court.
For an undisclosed amount of money.
Yeah, it overshadowed my victory climbing the mountain.
So I'm just going to say, as your significant other,
yes,
you're not climbing the frickin' mountain as long as you're still smoking. You are going to quit smoking, get into shape,
yeah,
work
I'll
yourself.
throw down the cigarette, and I'll begin.
No.
I'm going to train.
How?
I decided I would train.
How's that?
Getting in and out of my rocking chair. Up, down, up, down. I do it every day. It's the same thing as climbing a mountain.
Oh, God.
You know, I really don't care. I don't want to. It's not like, oh, look at me, I climbed a mountain, I just look at things. That's some bitch. I climbed that thing tomorrow. I'll jump up there. I don't think it's that, like Jimi Hendrix. I'll smash it down the side of my hand.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was pretty beautiful. A little man horn sticking up there. And the ice on this frickin' thing, this volcano, is blue.
Yes.
It's got shades of really brilliant azure blue.
Oh, it was gorgeous.
And that lake that we went by.
Yes.
Caribbean water.
It was. It was a lake, but it
Caribbean
looked
water.
like turquoise blue water.
And, all these other people that are listening to the radio show right now probably are melting in the heat because everybody's in a heat wave. Not us Washingtonians. Not a drop of rain. That's a myth. We were here 3 months last year with no rain.
Right. Actually 71
Beautiful
days.
weather. 70 degrees. Everyone should move to Washington State. And pot's legal. So, what do you guys say about that? They have great seafood here.
I do want to say thank you.
For what?
For taking me there yesterday.
Aww.
I know you didn't want to go.
I just couldn't get going. I had to have a bowel movement. I have 2 bowel movements in the morning. The coffee and cigarettes get it going. I have one. Top it off. Feel a lot better. I would start working on my second or third coffee. I feel the next one coming on. Crowning. Peritoneal bulging.
God.
So drop. Right? Once I get a successful docking, I'm able to unload
So gross.
my rectal vault, properly cleansed.
However,
Then I'm ready to go.
However,
It's 10 o'clock.
I made you
I
go.
don't have my pants on yet.
I made you go earlier.
No, we didn't. You mean earlier, like 1:30 in the afternoon? We left for the
No.
early expedition.
No, we left around 10.
We left around 10. You wanted? I was ready to go tap my foot at 7 o'clock.
Bullshit.
I jumped out of bed. I
What
said, okay, I'm ready to go climb Mount Rainier. Just need to stop at the store and get some cigarettes and coffee. And I'm probably going to need to stop and take 2 bathroom breaks on the way there. And then on the way back, to our delight, we stopped at a location that was once graced by President Ford.
Yes.
It was this little restaurant
Adorable.
shaped like a railroad car.
It was a railroad car.
It was a railroad car. It's a railroad car restaurant. Very quaint, very cute. I'd say the highlight of the meal was probably the Nubian princess waitress. She was very cute, very sweet,
Cassie.
funny as hell. I asked for ketchup with prime rib, and she said, "Oh, you're going to put it on? You're going to ruin that?" I don't think I've ever heard a waitress say that. That was good. She's a snappy.
You're going to ruin that meat with
chick.
ketchup?
She's also a doctor. Or
Right.
something.
She's an audiologist.
She's an audiologist that doesn't want to do medical stuff because she hates kids. But I had wonderful prime rib. It wasn't gummy. I don't like gummy prime rib. 2 things of au jus to dip for condiment. Also, I requested a separate, and it was handmade, horseradish. Delicious, red hot.
How are the French fries?
French fries were good. French fries had that dirty grease look to them.
I noticed
which I
I
kinda
didn't
like.
get even one.
I ate them all.
I see that.
Even the vegetables were smoky and delicious. Now, I happen to know that they were injecting smoke in that prime rib from 2 o'clock in the morning. Got up early.
And
Tons of
I
smoke.
had a lovely sockeyed salmon over a bed of Alfredo and
That
penne.
salmon was incredible.
It was amazing.
It was delicious. I think it was probably the best salmon ever. Remember I was telling you, let's get an entree of that to go.
Yeah,
We could eat it later. Why didn't we do that? We could eat it right now. We're starting.
I know. I'm sorry.
Delicious. And I don't know why it is eating at a restaurant, but for some reason, the most plain salad with ranch dressing on it just tastes delightful when someone else brings it to you and takes it away.
On
There's
a
something
cold
about it.
plate.
But the little train place was cute. It also had hotel rooms
Mm-hmm.
for sorted trysts, cabooses actually that have been made up into hotel rooms. That really, really cute. The largest collection of cabooses in the United States can be found at where, Sam? What city? Yelm?
Elb.
Elb. That's right, Elb.
Elby.
Also saw a little church,
Oh,
18 by 24.
great church.
They were trying to keep people out. There wasn't enough room for everybody to fit in there. I tracked some grease in on the floor.
No,
That
you
sucked.
did not.
The little steeple was made by the local blacksmith. It's been remodeled. They've added a new foundation underneath, concrete. It's a National Historic Site, little teeny white little Lutheran church.
Absolutely adorable town.
Aren't Lutherans kind of bastards, though? They don't allow dancing or, like, women folk.
Well, there
Awesome
are
and
some
stuff.
strict Lutherans.
Women
There
folks
are
stay in the
some
room.
that are more
Stay in the
progressive.
Yeah. I don't think they're exactly a fun religion, the Lutheran. Now, that's after Martin Luther, right? Luther. Sounds similar. It's possible they're related.
It was the most adorable little town. I'd go back.
I'd go back, too. Apparently, President Gerald Ford stopped by there. Some
Yes.
point. That was written in their little literature. Fascinating. This is all
Lessons
fascinating.
learned.
And then you and I discussed how we would redecorate. I was saying Opera House Red is the theme of the upholstery and the carpet. I would go with Hunter Green. I've learned that from gay friends. Hunter Green for trim accent. And
A lot
then
of brass.
You were suggesting brass for the bling work. Railroad memorabilia, which they did not have.
Yeah, that was odd.
And then finally I said a little small train that would circumnavigate around the top edge of the top of the car, right?
And go toot toot.
Yeah, real smoke and everything.
So, lessons learned from our trip yesterday.
Yes. Bring chairs.
First of all, go earlier.
Bring a cooler. Bring a picnic
Bring
lunch.
a picnic.
thinking
Oh my God,
refrigerated
there's
chicken,
so
fried
many
chicken.
beautiful places next to waterfalls.
Comfortable
And
shoes are important.
do what?
Comfortable shoes. Those are
Yeah.
important.
Going early because
Sunscreen.
parking is a problem. Sunscreen.
Sunscreen.
Oh my God.
I've seen so many white, pasty Washingtonians. They're going to be fried tomorrow.
Yep.
I can't come into work. I'm a lobster.
Yes.
What else did you learn?
Well, the picnic lunch thing was
Yeah,
the
you want to
best
bring
for
a
me
picnic lunch
because,
to Mount Rainier.
oh my God, so many beautiful
A lot of
places
little
to
picnic
pull
spots
over
to stop. And
with
you can camp there. I
waterfalls.
didn't realize you could camp. There were tons of people camping RVs and campers.
Cougar campgrounds.
Took a freaking half tank of gas, though. It was
Well-
all uphill.
Dude, it's a mountain.
Hey, you know what I want to talk about? It's really weird, Sam. I don't know if you're aware of it, but some new photos. This is a different subject. New photos have surfaced.
Nude?
No, not nude. Nude. N-E-U. Nude.
Okay.
N-E-W. Nude. New photos
Yes.
of the Boston Bombers.
Not just the Rolling Stones cover?
Oh, we're going to get to that.
Oh, boy.
The Boston Bombers
Yes.
are shown in these photos surrendering alive.
Both of them?
Yeah. Somehow they're getting killed. Now, I'm being told that feds were spraying that boat with bullets, and that there's photos of him coming out, and he's not injured. The speculation is that the medic, and this sounds horrible, but it's possible, the medic that was intubating him actually slit his throat because he wasn't injured until that point. They don't want him talking, so they intubated him. Now, like I said, they could have just esophageally intubated him and killed him easily.
Well, that doesn't make any sense because if they didn't want him to talk and they were trying to slice his throat, that doesn't make sense because then they sat vigil at his bedside waiting for him to wake up enough to talk.
Well, that's what they say.
I'm surprised he made it out of the hospital alive.
His dad gets blown away too. It just looks.
His dad?
Yeah, one of the kids' dads. Something related to the bombers. They went out to their house, the feds, and they wound up shooting the guy to death. And he's unarmed. They felt threatened, like he was going to attack them.
I don't think I heard that. Now, you made me lose my train of thought.
What?
I forgot. You were saying something about that. Well, the slicing of the throat.
Yeah. There
is a technique, a medical technique called a cricothyrotomy, I believe. Yes. And that's where you actually can't intubate through the mouth, and so you actually make an incision lower on the neck. So maybe that's what he was doing.
That's possible, and a layman would see just like they were slitting their neck. And even the police chief, I guess, got up in front of everybody and said it looks slit to him, not a bullet wound. That's possible. You know, that the paramedic in the field, though, is more likely to be doing a needle cricothyrotomy. He's going to insert a 10-gauge needle in the
cricoid space.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the pharyngeal cricoid membrane and aspirate air into him that way. That's usually how they do it. Or they just intubate the guy. Although if you had facial trauma, that would be contraindicated.
Right. That's why I'm saying that slice is probably more likely a medical technique.
I'm not sure. I think I'm smelling a rat.
Is the kitten out there?
No. No, one of them got killed.
I know. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to the Rocket Radio Show. We're going to wrap it up. What the hell, Sam? Our show is tanking. We have no energy.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Did you want to talk about Bonnie and Clyde?
Say good night, Sam.
Good night, Sam.
Represent the hip-hop. Just got the style that's so versatile. And then I rock the microphone and make it, what you wow. Because I'm just Rashid. I give you what you need. Ripping niggas up at the breakneck speed. Ho, ho. I say ho, ho. I'm good to go. I say ow, I say ow. Rock your body. I say rock your body. Yeah, I say shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, yo, shake it, 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 yo, shake it, 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 yo, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it.
There's this unstated Muslim underlying presupposition permeating through the postmodern dystopic frontiers. And this is the presupposition that in order to hold an opinion, or to think that an opinion is superior to another, or more correct, or more precise, one will have to or must benefit from it immediately. That is, in order to speak honestly about the world, it must have an immediate benefit. That means that you must gain from it something without any effort. This presupposes that the world comes ready-made for our pleasures. Not that it challenges us, but it confronts us. And that in relation to it, we must adapt and grow in order to find contentment, to whatever degree we can find contentment. But that it already exists out there, and all we have to do is open our eyes and discover it. And this underlies many hypotheticals, such as God, for instance. The sheer arrogance of the idea that the entire world is geared for us, that this is a testing phase, that a omnipotent power oversees our actions or cares about us, and that we deserve immortality. The sheer arrogance of that is only counterbalanced by the pretentious humility that is used to sell this idea. A pretentious humility, underlying it being this arrogance that I think very few ideologies can match. But this is true of most current modern ideas. Most people think that if you believe in something, that means you benefit from it or you like it. For instance, if I say that paternalism was the only way that males could be integrated into the system and find a mate, this means that I'm proposing a return to paternalism, or that I benefit from it, or that I like it. Or when I say that races are not, or in sexes are not accidental or merely superficial designations, but that there is something more substantial to it other than appearance, because appearance does matter. And that there is a difference between the races, as there is between the sexes, as there is between species. And that we perceive these differences aesthetically, that is through color, form, texture, smell, sound. If I were to say that I dare to say that, means that I'm benefiting from it, that I enjoy it, that I take pleasure in this fact, that I like it. It's not like that it confronts me and that I can't close my eyes to it. I cannot delude myself just to enter into this narcosis, this blissful, delusional state, this artificial world. It's implied that, again, that I benefit from it directly. And why is it applied? Why is it implied? Because, to be honest, for most people, this is in fact the truth of the matter. That is, most people only accept an opinion, a proposition, if it benefits them immediately, if they have an immediate flattering advantage gained just from seeing or accepting the opinion. Not that the proposition challenges them to become more, to grow, to deal with it, to cope, because not everything in life can be corrected. Some things, in fact most things, have to be accepted and coped with, such as mortality, or the limitations that our particular genetic backgrounds place upon us, the way we look, how tall we are, how smart we are, and so on. So most people can only accept a proposition if they are flattered by it, or it benefits them without any effort. Or there's some cases where they just cannot deny it. It's just so obvious that they can't deny it. They begrudgingly accept it, claiming that this is an aspect of their objectivity and their honesty. Now, because most people depend on others to construct perspectives, which they then just parrot, they adopt and they parrot, they regurgitate, they make it their own. This results in political movements, because politics is not some abstraction disconnected from life. Politics is a way of engaging life. It's a grouping associated with a psychological matter. And because most people adopt and accept the insights of others, most of them must be seduced by the idea. That is, as I stated earlier, they must be made to feel good about themselves. They must be flattered by the idea. And that's why most nihilistic ideologies, or more most pretentious ideologies and ideas and dogmas and religions, offer that populist perspective. That is, they try to soothe and comfort as many people as they can in order to assimilate them within their premises and dominate them, and then use them. And that's a well-known premise what language is. But I'm gonna quote from an expert, because experts is what most people need in order to even entertain an opinion. So I'm gonna quote here from a British anthropologist and evolutionary psychologist in regards to what language is. His name is Robin Dunbar. Quote, "Eventually, even this form of communication would have exhausted its capacity to bond groups. A more efficient mechanism for bonding was needed to allow group size to continue its upward drift. At this point, the vocalizations began to acquire meaning, but the content was largely social. Gossip had arrived. This need not have involved any dramatic change, for, as the studies by Seyfarth and Cheney have shown, primate vocalizations are already capable of conveying a great deal of social information and commentary." Unquote. We see here his take on gossip and language, and how it, from grooming, primate grooming, a language evolves. I quote again from Dunbar. Quote, "The central argument revolves around 4 key points. 1. Among primates, social group size appears to be limited by the size of the species, neocortex. 2. The size of human social networks appears to be limited for similar reasons to a value of around 150. 3. The time devoted to social grooming by primates is directly related to group size because it plays a crucial role in bonding groups. And finally, 4. It is suggested that language evolved among humans to replace social grooming because the grooming time required by our large groups made impossible demands on our time. Language, I argue, evolved to fill the gap because it allows us to use the time we have available for social interactions more efficiently." Unquote. We see here not only how the brain size limits our ability to associate with individuals, which he believes is around 150, but also it makes us wonder how this limit is overcome, with what methods. And I would say abstraction is one of the methods, and lowering the identifying marker down to its lowest point. Also, this unifying bullshit is used to increase the size of association to in these days millions. So now let's go to another quote by Dunbar. Quote, "In fact, we know now that grooming stimulates the production of the body's natural opiates, the endorphins. In effect, being groomed produces mildly narcotic effects. The problem here is that vocalizations are just, well, vocalizations. They don't have the same opiate releasing properties as grooming. However, suppose that as language develops, signals associated with language themselves begin to stimulate opiate production. Smiling, and particularly laughing, do just this. And this may well explain why smiling and laughing are such important components of conversation. Unquote. And one last quote by Dunbar. Language has an additional benefit, invaluable in our circumstances. It allows us to exchange information about other people, so circuiting the laborious process of finding out how they behave. For monkeys and apes, all this has to be done by direct observation. Unquote. Therefore, we see how grooming through language takes on the form of finding and then associating with others of our kind, grouping ourselves in political unities. Therefore, everything, all interactions, is politics. Politics is not something that happens in government. Politics is everyday life. When you associate with a group of people, even your family, there's politics involved. There's internal politics. So when some men children try to disassociate themselves from this left-right simplicity, which is truly a simplicity, they are not being merely disingenuous, they're being foolish, they're being idiotic. One is made to wonder that if right and left are too simplistic for some minds, why male-female, that dichotomy is not as simplistic. And I would say that I can find more common ground with some females, rare as they may be, than I can with most males, particularly in today's world of feminization. In fact, I found many females online who are of like mind with me, and I found myriads of males who have nothing in common with me on any level: intellectual, spiritual, psychological, economic, social, etc. So here we see how a mind's interaction with the environment produces an attraction and a production of certain ideas, because ideas are merely exchanges between man and environment, conceptions, interpretations of the environment, if you will. And other men are aspects of the environment. They are not us. When I meet another person, he's not me. He is an aspect of the environment which I then relate to. And this produces a hierarchy. And this eventually, if you add more people, produces the need for grooming, and results in politics, political discourse, and so on. To bring it back to the original point, I, for example, can only associate with people who can take themselves out of the equation. That is, when they perceive the world, they don't perceive it through their rosy glasses, or they don't see it as they wish it were, but they try to see it as closely as possible to how it is. Because the world is not benevolent, it is uncaring, it is indifferent, it's unconscious, and it challenges us. And this challenging is what produces growth. It leads to advancement. It leads to a do-or-die attitude. You either adapt to it or you perish. This is the natural selection process. And perceiving it correctly only adds to the potential of you adapting to it. Now, whether you can adapt to it is not a given. This is determined by your past, which gives you your talents, your limits, establishes your limits, your psychology, your courage, your strengths, your weaknesses, and so on. Nevertheless, even if you can't adapt, simply ignoring the truth or ignoring reality won't make it go away. If a lion is coming to eat you, closing your eyes and pretending that it's not there is not going to save you from the lion. You either accept the consequences of your nature, as this has been established by your past, or you suffer for it. Now, in modern systems, there is a sheltering going on. That means weakness is protected. It is told soothing myths in order to integrate it into its premises, and in order to manipulate it, to exploit it. And this is what the problem is here, not only in regards to feminization, but in regards to such thing as increase in disease, increases in disillusionment, increase in pretentiousness, in narcissism in the form of schizophrenia, which I've gotten into in one of my essays and sort of touched upon in one of my videos. So just because I say something is true or I believe that it's true doesn't mean that I like it. In fact, that I like it should make me more skeptical about it. And so I don't look in the world and say what I want to see, but look into the world and try to see a challenge, because I know the world was not made for me, unlike what other delusional minds think. And I know that life is not a product of benevolence, that it's a reaction to an environment that threatens life. That's why life is so rare in the universe, and that's why it's so precious. And that's why higher forms of life are even more rare.